Can you believe it's already time to plan for July in our altered book bullet junk journals? As always, I will introduce my new set of freebies as well as the optional style for the monthlies, weeklies, and trackers. And of course, my set of printables created especially for the month of July. Hi, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me introduce July's theme. As you can see here, it's a bit different. I was gonna go for floral again because those are always popular, but I decided to go with a suggestion that a few of you lovely viewers have had, which is like a maritime, underwater, ocean kind of theme. So I was happy to design some papers, and I really have to say thank you because I had the best time designing this kit. It's not really a kit. So let me show you first the 10 background pages that we have that you can obviously, as always, also use for your junk journals. I just love how playful these are. This is something I would not use in, let's say, a regular junk journal, but that's just me. But I love using these playful elements in my planner because it just makes it so much more fun. So this kit is called Azrai and Friends. The way I came up with the name was, so there's a mermaid in here, which you will see. When I was looking at the mermaids, I had the feeling like mermaids are kind of like fairies, but underwater. So I was looking for a name for this kit, and I was looking specifically for names of mermaids. And I came upon this name of Azrai, which comes from English folklore, and they are aquatic fairies similar to mermaids. They couldn't survive daylight and only came to the surface once a century. How cool is that? So these are Azrai's friends, obviously. It's beautiful. Seahorse and these cute fish. I don't know the name of the fish. I had a lot of fun playing around with the background elements here as well. We see some bubbles, we have some sparkles, we have gold streaks from paint. The initial backgrounds for these printables are my salt watercolor coffee dyed papers that I shared in a video a few weeks ago. I will link that video below for you in case you missed it and you want to see how I dye my papers like that. So that was the base for these, on which I then built all these elements. So this is the first one. Then here we have Azrai and some more of her friends. And we have another one of these adorable seahorses. In some of these we have these jellyfish in the background, which I really love as well. Here we have another little cute mermaid sitting on a clamshell. There's even some lace here in the background. And we have another cute little seahorse. Some florals, which don't make sense under the water, but I love the idea. And the colors go really well. And I just think it can be a little crazy in our journals. Why not? Here we have another little mermaid laying in the clamshell, looking up at these cute fish coming in. More jellyfish here. This one has a little less going on. You have these cute crabs here and some fish like faintly in the background. We have some more florals here with some more lace. And finally, I think this is my favorite one. We have these two little seahorses. Aren't they adorable? Some more floral arrangements on the top and a beautiful grungy sea background. And then I usually have 2 more plain pages in my sets. So one is this one here. You see here the jellyfish and all the bubbles, and there's some swirly accents as well. And the second one is this one here. Here you can see a little better the salt background papers, and we have faintly again some fish here, some glitter. And these can also be used if you want to use these papers in a junk journal. I think these are great to print on the back side of your pages so that both sides then are equally beautiful. Let's get to the freebies. So here is what the July month looks like. So for this one we have the background with the 2 cute little seahorses. Light enough so that you can put your appointments still on here and still see what you wrote. Then we have our 10,000 step tracker and our habit tracker. And then we have the weeklies. So this is week 1 starting with July 5th, because up until July 4th was still a part of the June kit. So here we have this adorable seahorse again. Here we have the mermaid. These 2 are the second half of July. So those were the freebies. And now we have the notes here that I always use for my to-dos and my gratitude. So these are little cards that you can cut out, and they're also faint so that you can write on them but still have the cute design. And then we also have our labels for this month. So all the gratitude and the to-dos and everything, and for our Hello July page, and then for our Summary July page. So this time you get 9 of these little note cards. Last time there were only 6. This is better, I think. It gives you a little more variety. Then we have some clip art as always. This time we have 3 pages of clip art, which is more than I usually have as well. So we have these beautiful florals and some shells and some corals here. Then we have 9 different mermaids, which are super fun. And lastly, we have the seahorses. So there's 4 different colors. I put them on both always facing left and right so that you can choose. We have these beautiful jellyfish, we have the crab, we have 4 different colored sea stars, and we have 3 different types of fish, also each facing the other way, which should make it easier to use. And finally, we have the newer option. I think it's now the 3rd month that I have these, where you have all the monthly, the tracker, and the weeklies already printed onto the backgrounds to save bulk, to save time, to just make our lives so much easier. So this is the monthly. So I will never be using this as a whole page. I mean, you could, obviously, you could just bind these together and use it as a whole page. Since I'm using an altered book, I'm going to be gluing it onto my page, so I always need to cut it to the size that I need for that page. So I will have then this, for example, when I use the monthly, I will have this page to use on another book page. I hope that makes sense. These are the 2 trackers. So we have the, actually I'll just leave it like this because in the book it will always be like this. We have the 10K step tracker, which is what I use. And then we have the habit tracker as well as another option. And then here are our weekly pages. So this is the 1st week. This is the 2nd week. And again with these, I didn't just put the calendar on top of the original journaling page, but in most of these I just kind of moved the elements around it a little bit to be more visible, and sometimes I have them overlapping a little bit into the calendar, which I think is fun. So that's the week 2, and then we have week 3. We have this cutie here, and finally we have week 4 here with this cute little fish and the little fish down here and the seahorse. So I hope you like this kit. It is truly summery. I'm loving it. So let's play with it a little bit in our books. If you've missed seeing how I made this, how I covered this, I will link the playlist with all of the videos for my altered book below for you, where you can also find how I covered this book. So let's first look back at June, because you haven't seen all the pages in June. So this one we've done together on camera. This is my 10K step tracker. I'm only here in the month. I'm filming this ahead out of logistical reasons. I'm doing quite well with the walking, so my aim is 10K every day, and I've almost managed it. But when I see that I have over 21K on the one day, I think it evens out that I'm missing a little bit here. So let's hope that will continue throughout June. So that's my calendar. So this is where I am now. This is the bookmark I always keep in my planner. So this is the week I'm currently in. This here is a page that we have done together, but I just added afterwards the butterfly and this little parrot. Those are both from my printables. Oh, and also there's a little butterfly here. I didn't even see that. It was just a little bit too plain still. Then I decorated this page here, and I don't really like it because there's just too much going on here. I should have just left this out. I think then it would have been fine. And I used 2 printables from a printable I had for last month, which was like an ephemera kit. And since the colors were too strong to actually write on, I just went over them with gesso. So that's something else you can do if you have prints that are just too dominant, where you wouldn't see your writing. This one here I really like. I've just done a little bit of collaging here on the sides. These were from the kit, these 2 cards. And these birds are originals from a vintage bird book. This one I like as well. Here I actually added 2 notes that I had left over from, I don't remember which month, to be honest. Maybe February or March. Not sure, but rather than printing more of these, I decided to just use ones that I already had printed and left over. And these florals are from a book that I had received in Happy Mail, and I think they go really well here. And finally we have the June summary page. This is all from the kit, and this here is from my vintage birds. I think this one will be fine. It is quite colorful, but I think if I write over it with a black tipped felt pen, then that should be okay. So this will be my page for the intro for July. And here I quite plainly made a mistake. I glued this here. I'm not sure why. Oh, I think, you know what? I think this was supposed to be my June summary page, and I kind of just skipped this page. Now I have this background on here, which of course does not fit to July. So I think I will just cover it with my new printables. Okay, so this is the summary page. This will be covered, and that will be my 10K step tracker. This will be my July monthly calendar. So then we have to again take out 10 pages. And I just want to show you that for this particular book, 10 pages is perfect, because you see here, it's still flat. I have done 2 months in this now, and it's still flat, which is what I'm going for in my planners. I don't want these to become gator mouths. But it might vary in your book, because I think it depends on the book page thickness. So you will have to do some experimenting to see how many you need to tear out. But maybe you start with 10, and then you'll see if that gives you the result you want or not. Okay, so I said I'm keeping this. So now I'm just tearing out 10 pages, and I'm trying to tear them slowly so that I can tear them as close to the binding as possible. Because the more of this paper that is left in here, the more stiff and more hard it will be to actually flip over your pages, of course, because there's something hard here in the middle. So try to remove as much of that bulk as possible. Okay, so that's quite a lot of bulk left here, so I will try to get rid of as much as possible. It is not always easy. And of course, we don't throw away our torn out pages. If you need more ideas on what to do with your book pages, one of the many possibilities is to make a masterboard out of book pages, which was inspired by Joey DeFee. So I will link my video for how I made a mixed media masterboard using these pages below for you. And in that, you will also find a link to Joey DeFee's original video. So I will continue this off camera to just always tear out 10 pages. So I have my 10 pages torn out here. So these two will be glued together. Then I leave one page. I again tear out 10. So I'm gonna do that, I think like 5 times or so to make sure that I can fit everything in here. So I've just torn out a total of 50 pages. So that is quite a lot again. And I'll show you what the book looks like now from the top. So we have this, and now it is a bit collapsed, which is perfect because once we add all of our new pages and our ephemera, it will again be approximately like this. So that works out really well. Now, if you've never done one of these and you're considering making your own planner for the first time, please keep in mind to not pick a book that has sewn in pages. You want glued in pages because, and I know I've mentioned this many times, but if you're new here, if you just randomly tear out a page and your pages are sewn in, there will be a counterpart to that page, which will then just come apart, or the page won't come apart, the book will come apart. And we don't want that. Only if the pages are glued in can we randomly tear out pages without affecting any other pages that way. So now the next step that we've torn everything out, we need to glue together the pages where we have torn out the pages in the middle. I'm doing this with my art glitter glue, and as always, I am only gluing the edges of my paper to keep my paper flexible, because on my first one I made last year, I put glue on the whole page, and what happened is all my pages became really stiff, and I don't like that. If you don't mind that, then go ahead, but there's really no reason to put glue on the whole page because it also wastes a whole bunch of glue. And they probably will warp a little bit, but that's okay. You see, in the end, it's really not bad, right? So I can totally live with a little bit of warping. So these were the ones where we didn't tear out, and the next one again is where we tore out. So I'm just going to keep gluing all of my pages together. So let's see what kind of background we can choose here for our intro page for July. So looking at these, I can choose any of the sides that are blank, basically, that don't have a calendar part on them. I think I want to go with this cute yellow seahorse because the yellow really works well, and then that's a really cute transition, I think, from one month to the next. I really enjoy having a new theme every month because I always need a change. I always feel like I have enough of one theme at the end of the month, and then I really love getting a new theme, a playful theme, something different. It just makes the planner so interesting to look at. And it really makes me love working in this planner. I really enjoy working in it every single day. Okay, now I just marked where I need to cut this, making sure that I cover all of the writing here, but leaving a border around. So I'm going to just trim this with my paper trimmer and ink up the edges as well. And also here, I only put the glue on the edge of my paper, same reason as before. And if these images are too large for your planner, if yours is smaller, then please just print these at a lower percentage, for example, 90% or 80% or however small you need them to be. How cute is this? So this is where I'm gonna put my Hello July and find some kind of a quote to go with it. So we'll do that later on. So now I need to cover this. Although this is beautiful, but it just doesn't fit with our underwater theme, unfortunately. So this will be the page where we have, or where I will have my, what will I have here? My 10K step tracker. So now I want to be sure, first of all, to center this in the page. So I'll be cutting off a bit here and the rest from here. And I also want to make sure, of course, that I cover this paper. So let's see, hopefully this will cover the previous one and we will never see that. It has been covered. Yep, I think that works beautifully. And we have our cute little crabs down here. If you have any ideas for August for the theme, please write me a comment down below. I will definitely consider it. It's fun to get your input. And I love having this theme in here because I'm thinking not all of us will get to travel this year. And definitely not all of us will get to see the ocean this year. So this way, at least, we can kind of dream in our altered book and kind of just play with the theme and enjoy the theme and the vibe of the ocean, even if we can't see it in person. So here, I want my monthly, obviously. This is very close. My pages in this planner are fairly narrow, so it's going to be very close. I'm gonna lose some of the fish here on the side, but maybe your pages are wider and you wouldn't have to cut away this much. At the moment of filming this, neither my hubby nor I have even gotten the first vaccination. My hubby at least has an appointment, but I'm not giving up hope. Currently, we can't book any appointments because apparently Vienna has run out of vaccinations and you can't book anything. But I haven't given up hope that we will be able to have a vacation together still this year, and hopefully we can go to Egypt for a week to the ocean. I really miss it. So always checking that the calendar part is centered. And we're also thinking maybe in the near future, maybe even before we are both vaccinated, to just go a few days somewhere in Austria. So I don't know that we have done that in a long time either. Because that we can easily do without being vaccinated. We could just get the tests and that just makes it easier. But I'm not sure where to go yet. Do you have any suggestions? I would be so happy to just go hiking, go to the mountains, and there's beautiful lakes, and just do a few days of hiking, but that's not really my hobby's thing, so I'm not really sure. I think he would appreciate more like sightseeing, of which of course there is plenty in Austria. We'll have to decide. If you have any great suggestions, please let me know. I feel ridiculous asking that since I'm the Austrian here. Okay, this is the other week, or the next week I should say. Okay, so my week will go here. I kind of wanted to vary it this time to have some of the weeks on the right side, some on the left. I'm not sure why. Well, actually I do know why. It was because of the way the digitals are designed. So if I have my focal point here, I don't of course want to put the calendar right over it. So then I wanted to put it on the right. So this way we can cut it apart, put this on the left. Maybe you have your calendar page on the right anyway. And then I have this separately and I can of course put her on the right side. So we are very flexible. So I'm first going to again start out by just measuring this, and then I'll probably just put this one on the right side. And as always, I just print these digis on my regular copy paper. So that's 80 grams, that's like your cheapest copy paper you can find, and I set my print settings to the highest quality possible, and I am very happy with the outcome. Oh, look how sweet! I love this. Oh, these two are just so cute. Okay, moving on to the third week. We have this one here. So again, this will go on the right, and I think I will just put her on, I meant to the left, and then I will just put her on the right side. I'm curious, do you have any great summer plans, or are you doing a staycation at home this year? Do you have any nice craft projects maybe planned for summer? That would be cool too. Make the best of the situation that we can't really travel as free as we're used to. You know, when you are a business owner like I am in the meantime, I can't believe I'm saying that. Actually, it's still quite new for me. I've had this creative business of mine now since September of last year. So end of August, it will have been a year, which is absolutely unbelievable. You know, I've moved my passion to be my business, and you have to treat it like a business. And for me, this always kind of means whenever I'm not working, I kind of feel guilty. So I work 7 days a week, and I do my best to have some downtime during the day, and I usually do manage that. So I usually try to take my walk in the afternoons, but that's probably going to change now too when it gets more hot, because Vienna is quite humid, and that's no fun then walking in the afternoon. I would love to walk in the mornings, but that's not very realistic because I probably sleep in, because what happens then is if I take a break in the afternoon, and I probably will do that whether I walk or not, just because I need a break from working, then I work until late at night, so I don't get up early in the morning. But that means, you know, it would be really nice to just have a bit of a break. Although I love my job and it is my passion, you do need a break once in a while, right? But it's so interesting, when I was still working in an office, which I have done for over 20 years in different companies, different offices, like the summer vacation and any other vacation that I was fortunate enough to have during the year, those were really the highlights of my year. And I was constantly just trying to survive from one vacation to the next, always the next vacation, motivating me to continue in my job. And I think that's such a sad way to live. And it makes me so sad to think that I have lived so many years of my life that way and actually wasted my time. But I kind of never had the guts to start a creative business. And now I must say, and I feel very proud of this, I'm actually earning a living doing what I'm doing. This was something that was unthinkable for me a few years ago. Never thought I could make it work. Never thought I would have an online shop of my own. It still amazes me every time I think about it, and I am, as I hope you know, I am so, so grateful for all of your support on this channel, in my shop, you even subscribing to my newsletters. It's just amazing. What was I actually getting at with that story? Oh yeah, because about the vacation. So I don't have this urge anymore that I need to go on vacation in order to keep going. Thankfully, that is gone. It would have been unthinkable to have 2.5 years without traveling for me. But I've been totally fine during this whole pandemic and not being able to go anywhere. I have been totally fine because I've been at home doing what I love doing. I've been growing my business and feeling super, super fortunate that I have a passion and a business for something that can go on during a pandemic. I don't have a restaurant or a hotel or a shop that had to be closed for months. So I count myself so lucky that I don't have this urge of I can't go on if I don't have a vacation now. Okay, that is the end of July. So here we have the first day of August. Can I just say I love how this month looks? I probably say that every month. I think what it is I just love having new digitals in my planner, something new to look at every month. Okay, let's do the first week of June here, see how we can fit in our notes and our to-do lists and our gratitude. This might be a little more challenging now because we have this cute seahorse, which I definitely don't want to cover up. As usual in preparation, I have fussy cut all of the little elements from the notes and the clip art so that I'm ready to go for the video. This time I haven't inked everything up yet. So I have my little mermaids. We have a seahorse here, so I don't need to add any other seahorses. Actually, before I think about the ephemera, which is of course the most fun part, I should think about which notes I'm gonna put here and where, which will help me then with the placement of the decorative items. So I have my 9 little note cards here to choose from. So again, I don't think I'll be using a seahorse themed one, so that eliminates these 2. We have lots of fish, that's good. So let's see the color scheme. I don't think I want this red one on this one because we have a very nice yellow and green color scheme going on. So these are what's left. We could add the mermaid, although that kind of seems weird with this big seahorse to have a small mermaid. I will not use her. So that leaves these here. This one here is the same theme we have up here. So that would work, but might be too matchy actually. That's too much. So that leaves these three. I love these. I think I'm gonna use these. And then, yeah, these are kind of the same fish, so I don't want to use those. So these two are left. I think I want to keep some yellow for another page. So I'm gonna use this jellyfish one here. Now, just need to think of the placement. I think the yellow needs to go up there, so that will be my to-do. And the jellyfish will be my gratitude, and that fits actually nicely here next to the seahorse. So I'm just going to quickly ink those up, as well as ink up one of my gratitudes. And for the to-do, let's just use the focus. And then let me see what other elements I want to add. And by the way, if you are hoping that I will work on my book page that I have at the front of my planner, I again have to disappoint you. I have not read a single word since my last Plan With Me June video. At this point, this is becoming very embarrassing. I am not giving up, but I am kind of thinking whether I should try another book to see if it's the book or if it's me. I think it's me, but I could verify that by trying to start another book. But the problem remains that I feel extremely, I have the word focus here. I was gonna say, I cannot focus on reading. I'm such a scatterbrain that I am really having issues. So if you have any good tips on how to get over that, I would be very grateful. One thing that has worked for me in the past is to just read 10 pages a day, but I can't even at the moment bring myself to do that. Let me bring all the fun elements here. So we have our fish, we have our corals and seashells, sea stars. These are so fun. And we have some florals. So I think the main question is, before I decide on an image, I need to decide, do I want to add more color to this page or not? If I just stick with what's on this page already, it would obviously be very harmonious, but at the same time it might be too boring, too matchy. We could maybe go with something neutral, like the shells are pretty neutral. I would add a little something else without going too much into another color scheme. I could put a little shell up here, maybe an orange starfish, just to have a little bit more color going on here. But where do we put it? There's not much room here. Oh, I can put it down here. Yeah, that's cute. Do we need a third element? I'm looking now at the screen to see it, because that way I can see better the balance than when I'm looking on it from my point of view, just because it gives me a more of a top-down view. It's difficult because I do have 3 elements here, but I somehow also feel like it could use something there. What if we add another little fish down here? They're so cute. I think this works even though I have 4 elements now. I think that's what I will do. So again, I will ink these up and then we can glue everything down. Also with these notes, I don't glue the whole thing down. I really don't see the point of putting glue all over the surface. Why? Why do you waste your glue and make your paper more wavy? I mean, the art glitter glue doesn't make your paper wavy, but if you use tacky glue, it would make your paper wavy. There's no need for that. Put it here. And I'm still really enjoying having the gratitude for every week, because it helps me to kind of reflect a little bit on the week and what was good in it. And I won't focus on what was bad. I just concentrate on the good. And it makes me really appreciate all the things that happened that week. And sometimes I'll go through my calendar and I'll see what was going on, and I'll be amazed that that only happened that week. Like, it would feel maybe like it happened 2 weeks ago, but it was actually only that week. That's so interesting. And I feel like if I wouldn't have this gratitude where I would reflect on the weeks would kind of just pass by. They would just kind of melt one into the other. And this way I really take a moment and go through what happened that week, and to-dos I will also move to the next week if there's something I haven't done. But it kind of just makes me, I guess, live more mindful. Maybe that's what I was looking for. So I really appreciate that about doing this gratitude. I love this page. It's so cute. So colorful. This really gives me a beach feeling. Okay, so I will, as always, continue decorating the rest of the weeks on my own and show them to you at the end of July. What we do, of course, need to do is our intro page for July. We already have a huge seahorse on here because I was thinking about adding a mermaid, but I don't think that's gonna work because that's gonna look weird. Small mermaid and a huge seahorse. I mean, actually, why not? Hello, this is our book, our story. So actually, let's do that because I really want to stick one of the mermaids in here. So she needs to be facing the seahorse. So that already eliminates not many, actually just this one. I really actually like this one. I might just stick with this one, or this one might also be cute for that. That would also be okay. This one, the way she's looking, not so much. This one would also be an option, although she's more focused on herself than the seahorse. No, she is cuddling a fish. No, I want her to like have some interaction with the seahorse. She would work really well. Like, she is super delighted to come across her little friend in the ocean. They even have a similar coloring. That might be super cute. Or I also really like her. She's just kind of like swimming towards her friend here. Either of these I think would be adorable. Oh, I forgot her. Nah, I don't feel her for this page. So shall we go with this one? She's super delighted. I'm gonna go with this one. The color scheme is very cute and I love how she's delighted to meet her friend. Then I want to, of course, add a sentiment or a quote. So I will quickly hop online and see what I can find that might work for us. Why don't we look together here on my iPad? So I'm just putting into Google mermaid quotes. Then I'll even just go to the first one that says mermaid quotes and mermaid sayings. This is cute already. Mermaid, a water woman who chooses imagination over fear. I think that would work. I love the rain because I am a mermaid who lives far from the sea. Aww, that's cute. Be a mermaid. Yep, be a mermaid. The infinite power of the universe dwells in me. That's not really mermaid. Cute, but I want it mermaid related. Mermaid at heart. Oh, that's cute too. Maybe the first one, because it has to do with our imagination, and I think as junk journalers we all can relate to having a lot of imagination. Oh, that's the wrong one. This one. I like this one. So I'm going to add this to my welcome page. And I think instead of writing it on one of these little note cards, I will just write it directly onto the page. And I can write it around any other elements I might want to add. So let's maybe add some. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I want to, of course, put the Hello July. We definitely need that. So I'll add that just up here. Let me put you up just a little bit. So now we can look at the other elements. Again, I don't want to add another seahorse. I don't want to add another mermaid. We have some fish we could add. We have some flowers. We have some clams, corals. I think I want to add another fish, so he should be swimming in from the right. Oops, not this one. It would be upside down. Oh, but then we have two. Oh, I guess that's okay. So either this one, or we've just used him, so I won't use him again. We could also use this guy. The proportions are a bit insane. This fish, you know, is usually quite small, and we would compare him to the mermaid. That is quite hilarious. He could eat her. We don't care, do we? We take this colorful one. I have the feeling I've seen similar ones to these while snorkeling in Egypt in the Red Sea. I'm so fortunate to have experienced that a few times, to actually be around these kind of corals and to see these and these beautiful, colorful fish is just absolutely amazing and absolutely frightening at the same time, because although I don't dive, I just snorkel, and you stay, of course, at the surface of the water. The thing is that underneath you is dark ocean, and I always freak out because I always think of sharks, and I'm always worried that a shark is gonna come from beneath me and eat me. But I go anyway because it's just too lovely to miss. So what do I want to add down here? Do I want to add a shell? It's kind of big. We could add one like this and maybe another sea star. Either another yellow or a red. Actually, I think I want the red one. Like that would be cute. Do we need anything else? Does she need maybe a flower around her? Because it's absurd already anyway, right? We might as well continue being more absurd. Maybe the white one. Do we like that, or is that just too bizarre? Where else can we be bizarre if not in our journals? Doesn't make any sense, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. So I glued everything down, and I just had another idea before I put down this quote. I'm going to add a little bit of gesso because you see these bubbles here. I wanted to have more bubbles in the background, and I think the easiest way to do that is I have here a paintbrush which still has its cap on, and I think this round cap will make cute little white circles. I'm just using white gesso. Just want to make sure that it doesn't stamp the full circle. I just want the edges there, like that. So let's just stamp these, and especially I want the fish to have more bubbles. Oh, this is not working great. Let's try another one. Yeah, that one's better. So especially where the fish is, of course, I want him to have some more bubbles. So you see those? I think those are really cute. And then we can just add some random bubbles. Why not? They're very cute. I was thinking this would also look really cute with gold paint. But I'm just gonna stick to the white now. I think that's enough. Let me show you what these look like once they have dried. Super fun. Might be a little difficult to write over now, actually. I have decided I'm going to use my Stabilo ballpoint 0.5 in turquoise for this because I don't want a stark black to ruin our little scene here. I want a more subtle color. So now I'm just going to write the quote. Maybe you know I don't like my handwriting, so this is always challenging for me to just do that, and I always have the feeling I'm ruining the page. Yeah, it's kind of hard to write over the bubbles. Oh, and I already made a mistake. It's not a woman, it's a water woman. So as always, we can find a way to fix it. I have these cutoffs from my pages. So I'm going to write the quote on one of these and then tear around it and just glue it on, and problem solved. I'm just trying to find the one that matches the colors the best. Maybe I'll take this one. I'm gonna make sure I have the approximate size. Let's try this again. A water woman. It's so fitting for this page where we have such silly things going on. There, doesn't look so bad. It's not brilliant, but it's fine. And now the last thing, this is something I usually always forget every time, is I want to add a tab like I did here. So you can find these linked below as well. I have both ones with the name of the month. So there's one tab for every month. So I want to pick out the July one right there. So that's July. Or I also have a page with just generic, fun, floral themed, happy tabs. I will link both of those for you. I am going to ink this up as well. Now, which page do I put it on? Usually I like having it on the page where the calendar and the tracker are. Okay, I'm gonna put it here because that's where I think it goes best. Actually, the colors also work really well by coincidence. And I just want to make sure I stagger it and not put it right behind this one, but to move a little farther down. But I want to make sure not to go over the heading here of the tracker. Yep, that's good. Works here as well. There. Yes, I like it. Now when it's closed, well, they're not staggered equally, but it's fine. I can see where the months begin. I really hope you enjoyed this month's theme and kits, and I hope you enjoy working in your own planner as always. And I appreciate you hanging out with me for this chatty video. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Go play, have fun. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!